Let's face it, the Shadow 2 at just about 47 ounces is a heavy handgun. In fact, that's one of the specs that the competitors love the most, but it's not so great for sliding into the waistband for a day out. But now we have the new CZ Shadow 2 Compact. For starters, it's shed a massive amount of weight compared to the full-size version, tipping the scale at only 30 ounces. This is accomplished by first whacking a full inch off of the length of the barrel and the overall length of the gun from 4 3/4 inch barrel to 3 3/4 inch barrel, and by making the frame from aluminum alloy instead of carbon steel. In virtually every other way, the Shadow 2 Compact is identical to its big brother. Let's dive into the details. To begin with, the CZ Shadow 2 is built on the tried and true design and the action of the legendary CZ75. The inside-out slide-to-frame fit is one of the most recognized elements of a CZ handgun. Rather than the slide rails traveling over the frame rails, as almost every other semi-automatic handgun does it, the CZ design has the slide rails traveling inside the frame rails. The result is a sleeker and generally lower slide-to-frame fit. This means a lower bore axis, which reduces recoil. CZ was basically the pioneer of low bore axis. Another CZ trademark element is the deep sloping backstrap that might look odd, but feels great, and coupled with that long curved beaver tail, it provides a great grip angle and a solid hold. CZ Shadow 2 is a hammer-fired, double-action, single-action handgun. This provides the user with some carry options. The pistol can be carried cocked and locked with the hammer back in full cock and the safety engaged, or it can be carried with the hammer all the way down at full rest and the safety off. But there's also a hammer safety position that allows a partial cock of the hammer and for the safety to be on, and it leaves the trigger pull at double action. This would be the ideal carry condition. The manual safety on the Shadow 2 Compact is ambidextrous with the fire position downward. The safety levers are frame mounted and fairly flat to the frame. Swiping the safety on or off, though, can be a bit tricky, and I really had to press my thumb inward to engage it. There's no tactile feedback or any audible click, really, so this is a motion where practice is definitely advised. The Shadow 2 Compact stands 5.4 inches tall, which is maybe just at the tall end of concealment size, at least for me. The gun is 7.5 inches long overall, and the width of the pistol is just under 1.4 inches at the widest point. It comes with two 15-round magazines, and it's capable of accepting the full-size Shadow 2 magazines. Looks like I might want to adjust that sight just a tad for windage and maybe, an inch or so worth of elevation. That target is 13 yards down range, and I'm aiming for the middle of the white rectangle, and you can see where the group is hitting predominantly. Yep. Pretty consistent, slightly low right, but not by much. I measured the trigger pull after my range work, allowing the moving parts on the new gun to wear in over the course of a few hundred rounds. The double action pull was 10 pounds almost exactly, and the single action pull was 4 pounds 3 ounces. But even more important than the number on the scale is the feel of the trigger, which is buttery smooth in double action or single action, with a crisp break and a nice short reset. All right, I'm about 400 or so rounds in with the Shadow 2 Compact, And it is a sweet gun, just like I thought it would be. I'm going to go around the steel array, see how I can do with it here. It does seem to really like a combat hold. So put that front sight right center on the target. These targets, by the way, I use them pretty exclusively. I'm not shooting paper. And I have a discount code. Look in the description. Save yourself 10%, which is significant. Shadow 2 Compact comes with two 15-round magazines. It will also accept the larger magazines for the Shadow 2, even those big extended ones. Well, when I do what I'm supposed to do, which is about half the time, it definitely does what it's supposed to do. The aluminum alloy frame of the Compact is finished out with a beautiful set of aluminum grip panels with excellent texture. They have a soft blue color and checkering that is eye-catching and effective. The Shadow 2 insignia is engraved into both panels just to make sure your range buddies know you have good taste. The Shadow 2 Compact has a set of top quality sights. The rear sight is adjustable for elevation and windage. It's a wedge design with a high rear blackout anti-glare surface. Out front, the sight is a red fiber optic tube sitting in a thin blade. It gathers light very effectively, and it provides a nice compromise between a combat and a target sight picture. Between those sights is a wide serrated slide top rail that helps prevent glare to the shooter's eye. So obviously the Shadow 2 Compact is a slightly smaller version of the Shadow 2, hence the name Compact. Man, you can't get anything by me. One of the things that I noticed right away is what a perfect fit that grip is to my hand. Now, your hand may be different than mine, but for me, and I wear a medium-sized glove for reference for those out there trying to take notes, it almost couldn't be more perfect. The way that flare at the bottom on the front strap is just under my pinky is absolutely perfect. And if you were to stick a magwell, I'm sure there will be folks like Lock Grips will make a magwell for it, then that would probably wedge in there just perfectly. In every other way, the gun is really exactly like the Shadow 2. It's lighter because of the alloy frame instead of steel. Shorter, obviously, in length and height. Same amazing trigger. Same fantastic sights. I guess the big question is going to be, is it small enough by today's standards for a carry gun? You go back 10 years and this would have been insane for a carry gun. It would have been so perfect. For those of you who are still carrying that compact size, not the subcompact size, this is definitely a contender, and I don't know if you can do any better if you like just amazing triggers, than you can on a CZ. And then, of course, there are the amazing ergonomics that I'm a big fan of. I just love the way the CZ feels in the hand. I love that dog leg on the back strap that just cants your wrist forward a little bit, gives you a nice, strong grip, tightens that forearm right in here.
helps to reduce the recoil. So you've got all the shooting dynamics of the Shadow 2, which is incredible, in a smaller size. So this is like the carry gun that you could wear to the match, shoot the match with, and then wear home. That's not bad. Always finish on a hit.
The Shadow 2 Compact is optics ready, mostly. The slide is pre-cut, and the removal of 2 screws takes off the steel cover and exposes the mount. But adapter plates are not included with the gun. To obtain the adapter plates needed for your desired red dot optics, you can go to czusa.com and search by pistol, which would be Shadow 2, and the footprint that you would want, either RMR or DPP. There are other reliable options online, and the plates I found for the Shadow 2 are priced at around $67 each. With the removal of the cover plate, the rear sight is also removed. This is not my favorite design, as it eliminates the natural ability to co-witness with iron sights, or more importantly, to have them as a backup. However, a lot of the new red dots do provide a rear notch or a mark that can be used in conjunction with the front sight in a pinch. Something to consider when choosing your optic. When it comes to evaluating a handgun, I want to know how reliably and efficiently it operates. Does it do what's expected of it? And is the interface with the operator as good as it can be? Being very familiar with the full-size Shadow 2, it was easy to realize that the compact version feels exactly the same and that all the controls are identical in location, size, and function. Great, no learning curve. At my age, every learning curve is a steep one. The big difference, of course, between the full-size pistol and the compact is the weight. Having about 1/3 less mass in your hand is very noticeable. The ergonomics of the CZ Shadow 2 are among my favorite, and the compact is once again identical, except that it's a bit shorter in the grip height. For me, this is perfect because my pinky finger falls just on top of the bottom flare of the front strap, giving me a nice, comfortable locked grip. The recoil with the compact version of the Shadow 2 was not anything noteworthy, which means it's well managed. The low bore axis inherent in the CZ design, along with the grip angle that cants the wrist forward, keeps the gun well planted and the muzzle returns quickly to target.
The CZ Shadow 2 is, of course, double action, single action, but there's no decocker. So the only way to start out double action would be to do either you have to because you had a light primer strike or something and you have a second strike capability, or you have to drop the hammer manually, which is what I've done. So I'm going to start out double action. Everything else after that, of course, will be single action. Such a smooth trigger. It's a long pull, and it's not super light, but it is really smooth.
After all, it is the shorter and lighter version of one of the best competition pistols on the market. It might have a shorter barrel, but that barrel is the same match grade and just running in a shorter system. And it's accurate. I was convinced of this after spending a full morning banging small steel plates downrange, but to quantify the performance, I set up paper targets at 20 yards and I used a good quality pistol rest and 4 different loads of 9mm ammo. All 4 loads tested performed very well and their placement was consistent. But the best overall group was delivered by the Federal 115 grain full metal jacket at 1.36 inches for a 5-shot group.
The CZ Shadow 2 Compact quite literally, it is just the Shadow 2 in a smaller size. And so therefore, everything you would expect if you have the Shadow 2 or you're familiar with the Shadow 2, you can expect it to perform virtually identically.
Whether the CZ Shadow 2 Compact is the next best carry gun for you is a decision you'll have to make based on your preferences and the priorities for you for a concealed carry gun. The key factors that will challenge it are its size and weight against the plethora of Micro 9s on the market. But for those who don't mind a wider, taller, or heavier pistol, or even prefer that, the Shadow 2 Compact is one of the best quality, best performing handguns available. With a suggested retail price of $1,299, it's up against the competition of some boutique and high-end products offered by other top makers. But if you're shopping in that market, the Shadow 2 Compact should be on your short list. So if you want a competition pistol that can handle triple duty as also home defense and concealed carry, this might be the top of the field. This could easily be the answer to the question, what if I could only have one gun? Accessories are already becoming available on the market. In fact, I used a Blade Tech holster during the range work. Many people wanted a shorter, lighter version of the exceptional CZ Shadow 2, and in every way, CZ has granted their wish. This is a CZ Shadow 2 that's IDPA legal, more than capable, and it can be worn home after the match. You can really support the channel and help me keep content flowing by hitting a like and being a subscriber. I'm on Patreon if you want to support me that way, and you usually will get early access to videos like this. Look in the description of this video and you'll see several discount codes and affiliate links. You can save significant money on products that I use and recommend. Or if you think this video was especially helpful to you or you just want to say thanks, there's a button for that right below the video. It's like leaving a tip if you had good service. This is just an opinion. Thanks for watching.